You know, a few years ago, the concept of a data center seemed like it was something that was very far away from us. Well, now they're popping up at a fever pitch, leading to lots of consternation from constituents. We've seen packed town hall meetings, even pushback on projects in our area. Last year in Kansas, the state legislature approved a bipartisan bill giving data centers 20 years of tax breaks, essentially, with conditions. Still, many Kansans are concerned about the prospect of these centers being built in their backyards.
I think what they're doing is using the easily available resources that small towns have with little ability to fight them back.
It is one of the most talked about issues on the campaign trail right now, with people, especially in smaller communities, worried about what these projects would do to their natural resources, even their energy bills. Ty Masterson, Senate President and Republican candidate for governor, voted for those data center incentives last year. He claims it was one of the most restrictive bills for data centers at the time.
It's not a tax abatement. It was a 20-year sales tax exemption on equipment only. Like a farmer doesn't pay sales tax on his tractor for the inputs of the process, except that's a lifetime. This was limited, and it mandated they pay their sales tax on the power, which is their major. It accommodated use of power because the guardrails you have to have in place. You need to make sure that thing is paying full cost of its power, not throwing anything off to the residents around it. You would need to make sure even upgrades that might need to happen to the grid to provide it, that the full cost of any power would be absorbed by the data center. You have to make sure they're not unduly using resources, like water or even land usage.
Would you support environmental protections?
Oh yeah. I mean, you got to, and then even once all those guardrails are met, then even you still need to have it be a local decision.
Yeah, we've heard a lot about those guardrails from most of the candidates running for governor, Eric.
Yeah, right. Especially the ones who are concerned about the land, water, and energy use. Contender and Kansas Insurance Commissioner Vicki Schmidt told me she thinks the state government needs to get involved even more to a certain level.
One thing I think would help is to have, when we are doing the siting studies, that we allow enough time to do that so that the cities and the counties can have time to look at the pros and cons of a data center. And then I also think, we need to protect our land, our water, and our way of life.
Schmidt says that means making sure data centers follow water quality and usage laws, and they're footing the bill for energy costs without passing them on to Kansans. Businessman Philip Sarnecki also believes the state should keep data centers in check, while decisions should ultimately lie with the cities and counties where these centers would be built. Sarnecki tells me he wants a framework in place, what he calls a 5-year moratorium, to make sure data center owners follow certain conditions, like making sure they won't raise energy costs for residents, burden water systems, or try to use eminent domain. He also believes lawmakers should have cut a better deal.
Our legislature gave a 20-year sales tax break to the data centers last year. In addition to that, they've also given tax breaks to green energy, wind turbines, foreign companies. They've all gotten property tax relief, where the citizens of the state of Kansas, even though they were promised property tax relief for the last 3 years in a row by our leaders in the state Senate, they've gotten no property tax relief.
As part of his plan, Sarnecki says he'd only support a data center if a majority of people living in a community vote for it.
Interesting. Similar theme from Secretary of State Scott Schwab, who said for the most part, the state should stay out of widespread regulation of data centers. Do you support this rapid growth of data centers in Kansas?
Well, you don't want China to beat us on AI. We don't want China to be in charge of our data as it relates to what we use and what we create. So we are going to have some data centers. But I think it's a local issue. No more than we should have a monolith policy coming out of D.C. to Topeka. I don't think Topeka should be telling counties they can have data centers, or they must have data centers, or you can't have data centers. I think that's a county issue, and it's better for the people, because it's hard to access legislators sometimes, but county commissioners are normally readily available.
Here's what the other candidates had to say. Nick Reinecker wants to let data center decisions be made at the local level and not get the state involved except in an emergency. Charlotte O'Hara wants to repeal the 20-year tax exemption passed last year and stop all local tax incentives too, saying that data centers only take from Kansas. And Stacey Rogers also wants to repeal the tax exemption, but a step further, she wants to put a moratorium in place on data centers and institute what she calls state-level guardrails to protect water resources. Again, these are just a few of many, many topics in a wide field of many, many candidates. So Eric Graves, thanks for the assist on this, just helping voters make heads or tails of these issues before Election Day.
Thanks for having me, Cody.